It was then that I opened the notebook that my mother had given me. She said she found it while cleaning out the closet. Crumbling and covered with dust, it turned out to be the diary of my long-lost grandfather. Do you still remember how we first met and all of our adventures since? It seems like such a dream nowadays. You were a piece of a star that fell from the sky. Whenever I want to return to those days long gone, I close my eyes and whisper your name into the evening sky. Kid. Kid. Hey, kid! Are you ready, kid? I know you're anxious, but stay on your toes.
Yeah, likewise, mate. Mess up and I'm leaving you behind. Come on, Magil. That bastard Lynx is gonna get what he deserves. Say your prayers. Not that it'll do you any good. Boy, did her information help. I thought the primitive's counterspell would be quite a problem.
Kid's braid sways gently from side to side in the cool nighttime breeze. So far, we've managed to slip through the magical shield network undetected and sneak into Lynx's domain. Still, this inner region can make for some pretty rough travel. Kid, Magil, and I comprise this party of 3. It's been something like 3 years since Kid and I met. Back then I was a drifter, wandering wherever my music led me. During my stay in the remote town of Regiona, I ended up running into a girl who later joined me, leading to the beginning of all this. That girl was Kid. Kid is a thief, of course. Not even 17 years old, already she's widely renowned as a top professional. To make matters worse, she's cute, devilishly stylish, and has a sparkling personality. And boy, can she cook. If you ask her, that is. Well, to be completely honest, she has her share of problems as well. She likes to think of herself as kind of a Robin Hood, stealing from the rich and giving to the poor, but that's just not the case. At times, her sharp tongue can get the best of her, viciously lashing out at anyone who stands in her way. She exaggerates every other word and sometimes lies outright. And as for listening to other people, well, forget it. When it comes to money, well, I have never met anyone greedier in my life. Her relentless pursuit of wealth is ironic, considering she's a nomad like me. I don't know, maybe I'm being too hard on her. She has her good points too. She can really shine sometimes when she wants to. Glancing back over my shoulder, I notice a silhouette silently emerge from the grove. Magil. This associate of Kid's is known to us only as Magil of the Shadows. I know next to nothing about him, except for the fact that he somehow knew Kid before I came into the picture. A high-class magician of some sort, he looks to be about 30. He usually keeps to himself, though. The top half of his face is covered with a mask at all times. I've never seen what he really looks like. At times, it seems as though I'm hanging around someone from another world. Traveling with this pack is definitely an interesting experience. Kid's quiet about her past, too, but it's like I know her entire life story compared to how little I know about Magil. From time to time, I find myself wondering who he is, where he came from, and so on. I'd ask Kid, but I get the impression she knows as little about him as I do. You might be wondering, how did I end up where I am now? Well, there's a lot of reasons, I suppose. I guess you could say that life doesn't always go how you plan. Suddenly, Kid comes to an abrupt stop.
Seems someone wants to say hello.
Out of a nearby thicket, two shimmering eyes catch my attention. Whatever it is, it's staring at me silently. After a few moments, a few more pairs of eyes appear. They seem to be surveying the area. A deep feline growl breaks the uncomfortable silence, and I realize we're being hunted by a pack of feral cats. A few of the figures slowly approach from behind the trees. I look behind me, only to see that they've already encircled us. A few more slowly creep in, now totaling about 10. Chills run down my spine. In a daze, I clumsily unsheath my knife, grasping it tightly as I bite my lip. Kid stands ready with an air of composure.
Careful, mate. These buggers are probably rabid.
The growling increases, now a constant rumble all around us. The yellow eyes shimmer like jack-o'-lanterns while saliva drips from their snarling jaws. The middle one's stomach gurgles as its eyes widen, fixed directly on me.
Looks like we ain't gonna get out of this one without a fight!
What do we do? I slash viciously at a nearby cat. Startled, it leaps back with incredible reflexes. I stand my ground, not getting any closer to the beast. Hearing a howl, I know I've hit my mark. Licking its wound, the animal recovers after a moment of pain. I ready my knife, waiting for my next chance to attack.
Serge! Behind ya!
I turn around to see that I'm now face to face with a pair of those ravenous yellow eyes. There's no time! I duck as the cat lunges and snaps at me. I smell the bloody odor of the cat's breath as it passes overhead. Just as I think it's past me, I feel its claws dig into my back. Scrambling out of the way, I manage to shove my knife upwards, planting it deep within the animal's belly. The sound of death can be heard as the cat falls to the ground before me, barely moving. Almost delirious, I lose balance and fall to my knees. Rolling over, I manage to shake off the confusion before any of the other cats can get any closer to me. I take a deep breath and try to tighten my grip on my knife, now slippery with sweat. Then, out of nowhere, Kid flashes across my field of vision, landing a direct hit onto a cat beside me. The cat screeches in pain as Kid pins it to the ground, stomping and kicking it with all her rage. Without a moment's delay, she boosts the animal up underneath its jaw. It moves no more. All of a sudden, the crazed atmosphere gives way to a war cry behind me. I whip around to see Magil's Inferno spell setting a cat's head ablaze. It jumps up, screeching and howling in madness before running away wildly. In confusion, it runs directly into a tree and knocks itself out cold. I look around and see that only one of the pack hasn't been taken care of yet. As Kid and I start to close in on the beast, it bolts, fearing for its life.
Well, that was some workout, eh, mate?
Says Kid, coming towards me as she tends to her arm. I take a deep breath as I look around, trying not to step on too many of the bodies. I'll admit, I was a little worried back there, at times, but nothing too serious happened. I try talking to Magil, despite knowing how he'll react. Are you alright? With an expressionless face, he looks down at me blankly.
You need not worry about me.
Wow, the affection is just overflowing from that guy. However, I probably shouldn't start complaining now. We've still got a long way to go. We haven't even set foot inside Viper Manor yet. Kid glances over at me, seeming eager as ever, ready to tackle what's next.
You gonna hang around all night or what, mate?
No way! Let's go!
Hey, come here.
Trying to ignore my aches and pains, I head over towards Kid.
Good job back there, mate.
She comes closer. I can see the reflection of the moon in her eyes as she gives me a warm, comforting smile.
But come on, we can't just stand around all night. There's treasure waiting to be found.
I'm still lost in her eyes as she starts to set off. Magil continues behind her without a hitch. I hurry to catch up behind the two. In a place like this, getting separated would be a bad idea.